Hello, I'm Keith Ford here at Brownells, and today we've got the man from Sons of Liberty Gun Works, Mike Mihalski. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
All right, now, Sons of Liberty Gun Works. That is, y'all are known for some hard charging, good, the best quality AR stuff out there. But, how did you get it going? That's the thing that I want to know.
Well, I think like a lot of folks in this business, I started out as an end user. You know, as I had every rifle you could think of, and I really appreciated the difference between, you know, the good duty grade rifles, and then you could see the difference in material and everything difference from the duty grade rifles and some of the hobby grade stuff. And Sons of Liberty started kind of after the Sandy Hook rush, and then I was seeing a lot of what was being pumped into the industry at the time, and I wanted to fill a gap there. That was to put out really hard use endurance guns into the world, you know, guns that would last, you know, that would put out through adversity. And I wanted to really support the end user. I wanted to take care of the shooter. And so from day one, our goal was to build endurance rifles and then keep the shooter shooting and supported no matter what. That's why from day one we've had every single part on that gun is completely, you shoot a barrel out, you shoot gas rings out, you wear something out, we're going to replace it for free. You know, if the thing's ever used in a defensive scenario and taken, we're going to replace it. So our approach was to support the shooter and to build really hard use guns.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think the first thing I ever saw Sons of Liberty Gun Works was probably the barrels. The barrels and then the receivers, and y'all pretty much cover the whole end now. Charging handles, parts kits, complete uppers. It's just amazing to see how y'all have grown.
Well, yeah, so our approach to building guns is every rifle begins its life as a barrel, and we build the rest of the platform to support that barrel. And around the time when we were starting, and still till this day, gas port sizes and things like that were, I think, really overlooked. To understand gassing and to understand managing carrier speed, that was one of the biggest things I think separated performance brands, right? And we always anticipate, as every single rifle we build, we anticipate that it will be suppressed at some point. So gassing guns and buffering weapons, and you have that equation worked out correctly where you could throw a can on there, the weapon's going to run. You take the can off, the weapon's going to run. You have to feed it some anemic ammo, or you have to, if there's any other kind of issue going on, that gun is going to continue to run. So remember our origins, we started after like one of the worst gun rushes in history. There were ammunition, you know, you had to shoot what you could get. You know, and there wasn't always a good source of, hot M193 out there or something, right? So if you gas that gun right and you buffer that gun right, it's pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than taking a can off of an AR and it just sit there and just choke. And it's like that.
Right, because it's either super undergassed and it's dependent on that can to work right, or it's super overgassed and underbuffered. When you throw that suppressor on there, it pushes it outside of its operational envelope.
Yeah, you're getting it just sprayed in your face.
right. Or the gun just fails to work.
Yeah.
As you start. So that was it. And then furthermore, again, when I say support the end user, support the shooter, we want to be as accessible as possible. I still give out my cell phone number online. We still talk to guys every day, and to kind of build a culture around shooting. And we're that was another thing too. I wanted to also kind of be a voice for the Second Amendment and how important that was, and how fragile it is. There's constantly someone trying to take that right away, to limit that, restrict it, and it's a constant fight. It will always be a constant fight, and we see it slowly eroding all the time. There are some really vocal people in the industry that I'm really happy to work with, and I'm proud to be friends with them. But there's also a little bit of a silence in there, and culturally we wanted to be very outspoken about that. We are not only are we really good gun manufacturers, I think we're really good advocates for how important the Second Amendment is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've seen y'all supporting various activities of the Second Amendment. It's you've got to, because anti-gunners they're constantly hounding every day, and if you don't stay up on it, it's going to go away quick, folks.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, hence the name, right? We named the company Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, where'd that come from? I mean,
yeah. So historically, the Sons of Liberty were the, so the predecessors of the Sons of Liberty were the Loyal Nine, right? And so they were a group of guys in the 1760s, and they're the ones that started. It was kind of an underground movement to be vocal about some of the problems of the crown, and they evolved into like the Sons of Liberty, and that is the origins of the country. That is the founding, and those principles are so important. Some of the most incredible documents ever put together, right? And of governance, and that's what we wanted to encapsulate. We wanted to really support speech and the natural right to self-defense. And some of these things that we felt were coming under attack even back then, I can tell you it's only gotten progressively worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I mean, it's just they're hammering on you every single day. And and you just gets to the point where they start pushing you so hard, it's time to, you got to push back a little bit, because, I mean, it's life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Yeah. And that's what this is about. Now, how'd you get started? I mean, was it at a kitchen table in the garage, or just watching a Brownells video one day, saying, "Dude, I got to do this."
I watched a lot of Brownells videos. Yeah, so I started building guns in my garage for friends. I mean, just doing it because I had a passion for it. I was, I really was interested in the mechanics and the materials. And then I got a visit from the ATF, and they're like, "You need to get a." You need to get a license.
Get a license.
Get a license. Yeah, either that or and so I did. And so tens of thousands of well-armed Americans later, I wonder if they'd wish they would have just let me keep tinkering in the garage. So that was kind of how we started. And my business partner Kyle, he wanted to get into it, and we didn't really have a lot of capital at the time. I mean, I had sold a car and come up with a little bit of money, and then we started just kind of bootstrapping it from like a $7,000 initial investment and Kyle's extra basement on a lumber yard, and that's really how it started. We started building guns for some team guys, and Marines. Those were our first clients as far as their own personal stuff, and it just kind of grew from there. We grew through word of mouth. I mean, until this day, we really don't spend a lot in advertising. Yeah. We grew into a national, international brand through word of mouth, and I think that has a lot to do with like the support we show for shooters and just the product itself. I mean, once you understand what we do, we're a really easy choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a cult following. I mean, you'll see the Sons of Liberty Gunworks T-shirts. I mean, the lowers. I mean, everything. Just my buddy Gary Hughes, huge. Yeah, everybody. Gary is something else. I mean, he was Sons of Liberty Gunworks. He's just like, dude, this is the stuff right here. And
it's an extension of our personalities. Like there's the sterile side of business, which we do for different government stuff, right? And then there's the extension of our personality, which there's the humor to it, right? There is the activism. There is getting out there and trying to approach the culture, right? Because policy is downstream from culture, and so a lot of the celebrities and high-profile people that we work with, getting them to kind of embrace the cause, we're starting to shift, I think, that culture war, which is so important, right? Because for a while there, they really were doing a good job of making guns and gun ownership taboo, right? But whenever you see some of these higher-profile people embracing it, that is the exact cultural pushback that we need.
Yeah.
So not only are you attacking it politically, you're attacking it materially, right? Getting weapons into good Americans' hands. You're also attacking it culturally, and that was our goal. It wasn't just a rifle company; it was a cause.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's the next step for Sons of Liberty Gun Works? I mean, what's the next tier that y'all are headed into?
Well, I think we want to responsibly scale, right? Start, being able to even try to put a dent in the demand, that's been overwhelming. We can't put a dent in the demand, and I feel bad for the guys out there that have been waiting, months or a year for something to come available. We are trying to increase capacity and do that responsibly. As everyone knows, in this industry, it's hard to scale.
It is,
right? Because it's such a volatile deal, and you're constantly worried about, if you go in and invest all this money into infrastructure or machines or facilities or manpower, and there's some legislative change or there's some other issue 6 months from now, I mean, it's hard to plan for that. So again, our goal is to, responsibly scale up and then just keep putting out good stuff while always maintaining and managing QC. One of the biggest challenges that I've seen is that as you grow in size, to still maintain that level of
QC is where it's at.
And give it right.
Yeah.
And our secret really is the guys and the crew that we hire. Nobody that works at Sons of Liberty is there to punch a clock. Everybody there truly believes in the cause and believes in the mission. It was interesting. We posted online that we had two open positions, and we got 2,500 applicants that night.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so it was neat to see just kind of, obviously we're resonating, and we hire on chemistry. So we're not necessarily looking for a lot of experience, but you have to have the right personality type. We'll teach you how to do it our way, and then that's kind of how, that's our secret. We have probably the best crew in the business.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. I mean, it shows in everything that y'all put out, that y'all have got the right combination. Good people and good quality stuff. And that's it, folks. That is the man right here, Mike Mihalski, Sons of Liberty Gunworks. Brother, thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it for coming, giving us the lowdown on Sons of Liberty and what's next and what's going on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. All right, folks, so if you got any questions about Sons of Liberty Gunworks stuff, be sure and check out their website or hit us up at Brownells. Call the tech line, drop us a line here, whatever works best for you. Thanks again, Mike, and we'll see you next time.